Alright guys, thanks for checking Stormtopia.com and Stormtopia.com Facebook page. We're going to have our daily weather update right now. This video is being recorded as of Wednesday, December 22nd, and of course we're looking towards the possibility of a major, if not historic, East Coast storm here, a HECS. Okay, so let's take a look at the points before we start off this video. European model still has that major storm that it's had for the past 4 or 5 runs. I'm going to show you that in just a second. GFS model was offshore, was onshore, continues to flip-flop, but in the latest guidance runs of the GFS seems to be trending westward. And I mean, if you look, like widely here, the track has changed massively. In the beginning stages of watching the storm, we were watching the storm come out of the Ohio Valley. It was going to come off Atlantic City. There was going to be some snow for New England and the Mid-Atlantic and the Mid-Atlantic. It would be rain south. Okay, totally different. Now we're talking about a negative tilt trough digging in. This thing comes not off Atlantic City, but Savannah, Georgia, and possibly snow from North Carolina northward instead of, instead of like Maryland northward. So very different situation, very changeable. The GMA, the Japanese model, the UK Met model, both offshore. And we're waiting on the accurate NAM to ref models to come in here so we can do an analysis on that. We will go into LSC live storm coverage tomorrow, which essentially means we're going to moderate our chat a little more. That means you don't have to wait for your message to get approved, but we're going to be a little tighter there. And we'll be, doing the typical things that we would do in live storm coverage. So, let's take a look at the latest guidance runs. Starting off with the European. Okay, I'll show you here. As we make our way out through time, I want you to pay attention to this blocking over here. Okay, I do want you to pay attention to the blocking there, because that's going to be a crucial part of the storm. Now, make our way out through time. Storm gets going, comes out of the Gulf. We start to see snow here from Vicksburg back to Atlanta, back into the Carolina mountains. Storm kind of moves across Florida, and then Georgia, South Carolina gets pounded, and the storm kind of hangs back here. It kind of hangs back. We got good positive blocking over here. Hangs back from the shortwave that's coming behind it. Okay, and because of that, it ends up being very far west. So we see a blizzard, 1 to 2 feet of snow here for the East Coast. Now, turning up the detail just a little bit here, guys. I'll show you how much QPF, quantitative precipitation forecast, we're expecting, and you just kind of transfer this to a 10 to 1 ratio, how much rain falls, and then you multiply that by 10, so you can take a look at how much snow falls, because snow is 1/10 of the density. I don't know. I don't want to get into physics for you guys, but anyway, in terms of QPF, we're looking at 1 to 2 inches here across most of the Northeast. Okay. Most of the I-95 corridor. Even guys, once you get into the oranges here, this could be snow. So it's easily, we're talking, in the 10 to 20 inch range for a lot of spots. And once you get into the orange, you'd be talking about 20 to 30 inches. So a pretty epic storm, so to speak. Again, I told you, and you better not have forgotten, I want you to look. Well, the storm is developing here in the Gulf and Florida. Pay attention to the blocking. It's so crucial to push the storm east, okay? Now, look at the GFS model. Pretty different. Storm moves out, okay? And moves off the East Coast. Then we get snow back, a little bit of snow on the East Coast, but it's too far. I did my analysis earlier on the guidance, and the 1 inch QPF line, which I'm going to show you on the GFS in a second, is 105 miles east compared to the Euro. So we still have to wait for the GFS to trend west a little bit, but I think that's what it's trying to do. And then it kind of does whack southern New England with 4 to 8 inches on the backside. In terms of QPF here on the GFS, we make our way out through time. Just again, the 1 inch line all the way out here. I mean, even more than 4 to 8 inches, maybe like 8 to 12 inches possibly here for parts of southern New England on the GFS. Not a shabby run, but it is very shabby, so to speak, for most of the East Coast. For most of the East Coast, southern New England, which kind of sticks out, ends up getting whacked before the storm goes off. But I told you I wanted to pay attention to the blocking. look at the ingredients here while the storm's in the Gulf of Mexico that we see. Blocking here. Okay, this is the GFS. Go over to the Euro. Blocking here. So, we have the essential dynamics of the blocking over western Quebec kind of, figured out here on the guidance, which has kind of been the trouble spot for us. We're just going to have to wait for these runs to continue to trend east and west, and before we get a more concrete look at the storm as we continue to go into live storm coverage. So, hope you enjoyed this forecast video. Please spread the word about our website, and have a great day.